can pick it up a notch. Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. Everybody's alive. Everybody's safe. I'm glad to see that. I know that, I don't know about you, but for myself, I was driving in here and I'm like, what is this? I mean, it's Michigan, right? So we got to deal with it. I mean, after all, don't you find yourself continuously reminding yourself, oh, yeah, by the way, it's February, right? Because we just went through this phase where it was like, oh my God, it felt like spring showed up like a month and a half early. And I was thinking about that in terms of, like, isn't that kind of the way life can be sometimes? Like when all of a sudden we're expecting one thing and all of a sudden something else shows up and it's like, well, wait a minute, this isn't exactly what my preference is. And then it's like, well, what do we do with that? Right? What do we do with that? So we've got a couple of choices, and this is the part of me that always makes me think of unity and why I love unity so much. And by the way, if you're here for the very first time, I don't necessarily see, is there any first timers here? If you're here, thank you for the very first time. But one of the things that you'll understand is that unity looks at things a little bit differently. And I think one of the most powerful things that unity has taught me, if you were to say, well, give me a couple of the things that you think are the most powerful things that unity has taught you, it would be very simple this, that in each and every single moment, you have the power and the ability to make choices over what it is that you're thinking. And so then, instead of looking at something and going, oh my God, I can look at it and go, oh, I get it. It's February. And, oh, that's right, the average temperature in February is somewhere around 30 degrees, and it should be snowing. But the cool part is I don't know about you, but I felt like we had a week of basically vacation. That's what it felt like to me. I felt like I was driving around just going, oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this amazing chance to just see the sun again. And given the opportunity to just be involved with that. So, is that better? There we go. Anyways, but it really comes down to the power of choice. And what happens is most people, they are literally functioning on autopilot. What do I mean by that? Well, it's simple. We've got this thing called our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind has all of our beliefs in terms of everything that we learned when we were that big and smaller, by the way. And those are the things that control the way that we react. They control the way we respond. They control everything until, here's the key to this whole thing, until all of a sudden you look at it and go, wait a minute. You know all those beliefs that are in there? The beliefs about yourself, the beliefs about God, the beliefs about life, the beliefs about finances, the beliefs about relationships, the beliefs about your health. All of those beliefs are sitting there unchecked. And they were put in there almost exclusively by anybody but you. And then all of a sudden you go, well, wait a minute, if that's the case, do you not think that maybe, just maybe, you might want to pause in your life and go, are those beliefs still serving me? Are they still serving me? So in other words, if you're happy with what you believe about yourself, if you're happy with what you believe about God, if you're happy with what you believe about life, about health, about relationships, about your finances, about abundance and all those things, keep the party going. But for me personally, I was not okay, the best way for me to put it, with the thoughts and the beliefs that were there. In other words, there was a lot of garbage put in there, a lot. And so for me, what this journey has been is the ability for me to go, hey, wait a minute. Okay, let's just hit the pause button. We are going to call a metaphysical timeout using unity language. And we're going to pause, and we're going to start actually looking at these different beliefs. And by the way, this doesn't happen overnight. It's usually a process that you go through that really, to me, once you engage with it, is really lasts your entire life. And what you're constantly doing is running into the beliefs and saying, do I still want them? Or do I want to change them? And then unity has this technique and way that you can change your beliefs. Yes, you can change your beliefs. Yes, you can change the neural pathways in your brain and start believing differently than you're currently believing. And the part about it that I just love, I love with all my heart, and it gets me excited, is that I can do it with God. So in other words, I'm not doing this alone. So in other words, I'm walking with God, and we together are looking at these beliefs that I have, and just, it's kind of like what I'm constantly doing is I'm just constantly looking and it's going, does this belief continue to serve me? Does this belief about we're separate serve me? Does this belief that God's this old man up in the sky with the rules, and if I don't follow the rules, I'm going to spend the rest of eternity in hell, does that really serve me? Does the belief that I'm separate from you serve me? Does the belief that I'm separate from Mother Earth serve me? Do all these beliefs serve me? And we have, spoiler alert, thousands of beliefs. And so what happens is, if you will, we're unconscious robots until, and this is the part I love, until all of a sudden we say, hey, wait a minute. And then that's where we get to hear the story about Myrtle having tuberculosis, realizing and going, there's something I can do about this. I don't just have to die. This isn't just a death sentence. What can I do about this? And what did she and Charles teach us? That you can change your beliefs. And when you change your beliefs, stuff in your life starts to change. That is the most powerful thing that you can do. So in a sense, what's happening is, if you think about it from a big picture standpoint, you are standing over here and you are a victim. There's nothing I can do. I can't change anything. My life is just what it is. Woe is me, I'm just like this. Or you can go, you know that crazy guy that talks every Sunday morning at Unity? He's crazy. He's got the audacity to sit up there and say that I'm a divine being, and that actually I've got a spark of the divine inside of me. And if I start to choose to become consciously aware of what I'm thinking and telling myself, then all of a sudden I can go from being a victim over to being a powerful creator. And actually, God's not opposed to that. God's been saying, where have you been? I've been waiting. And all of a sudden, then the party starts. And I don't care if you're 5 or you're 105. You can start it right now. You can start it right now and begin this process of starting to change some beliefs, some ideas, some thoughts about you, God, life, everything. Until you get to the point to where it's like, it just becomes this like, well, what's next? And you literally start looking at life and you start rubbing your hands and you're going like, bring it on. I can't wait. I can't wait to get up. And yeah, I did the same thing this morning, but then I got on the road and the road was like, and I'm like, oh, well. So what? We're going to have a few less people here this morning. I don't care. The people that are here are just beautiful, loving, incredible, and we're going to have an amazing time. I don't care who shows up. I don't, but I do, right? Of course I do. So, anyways, I get excited. I get excited about this stuff. I'm passionate about it, and I'm really, really passionate that you're here. So thank you for making it here this morning safely. I'm glad that you came, even though it was snowing outside, and you could have done, 5 million other things. You decided to come here. So as I always say, let's make this morning special. Let's think about it from a consciousness standpoint. We're in a collective consciousness. We're sitting here, and we can make this space anything we want to make it. So do you want to make it powerful, loving, healing, expansion, growth, grace, forgiveness? We can do that. Do you want a miracle? We can do that. Because God is not saying you're limited, you can't do anything. The only thing that limits us is, boom, right there. So I think we make this morning pretty special. I think we make it amazing. I think that you could literally say, what is the most powerful thing that I need to know or learn? And you can learn it this morning. You can learn it this morning. Or the awareness can hit you. Or maybe it doesn't come in right this morning, but if you open yourself up to that possibility, I promise you this, the universe has to respond because of who and what you are. So even if it's not like this wah moment this morning, if you open yourself up and say, yeah, I'm ready for something that I really need to learn, that I need to see, that I need to grow from, regarding something, that if you open yourself up, it has to come. It doesn't have a choice because of who and what you are. That's how powerful you are. That's a truth of who and what you are. But we simply haven't been told that. So, welcome. We got a great program coming on this morning. We got some great musicians, some great songs, some great prayers. We got all kinds of fun stuff going on this morning. And to the entire crew this morning, I just want to give a shout out and say thank you. We've been going through a massive technology change, which can be challenging, as I'm sure everybody here can relate to and understand. So for Jason, thank you. Jim, thank you. Chuck, thank you. Gentlemen, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So We're really glad that you're here. Awesome. We got a few announcements this morning. I can't read the dates on that, so I'm just going to ask that, just so you know this, that Taylor, how many people know Taylor and Ethan? They're going to be doing a grief ceremony, and I'm really super excited about this. I think grief is one of the most powerful tools for transformation that there is, and I think it's really, really, really misunderstood. And so I believe it's 2 weeks from last Friday is when it's coming up. They're going to be doing a grief ceremony here. It's going to be on a Friday night, and it's going to be a 3 or 4 hour ceremony. So if that is something that inside of you, you're still caring about the loss of a loved one or something else that's going on or something that's really hitting your heart, come join us. And the information, you can sign up in the lobby. There's going to be a love offering taken, and we would love to have you be here for that. We are looking for downstairs specifically for the nursery. So we've got these people downstairs that are down there to take care of the kids, but we really, really need some help with the little tiny ones if we're going to be able to support the parents that have the little ones. And so we're looking for somebody for a couple of hours on a Sunday morning, and we would prefer to have somebody from the congregation come in and fill that role if that touches your heart and you think that might be something fun. Just so you know, if you decide to do that, you don't have to do it every single Sunday. So it's not like this is until death do we part. If somebody, or 1 or 2 people or 3 people could sign up, then it might be once a month, or whatever you can give would be fantastic. If you're interested in that, please come see Jamie or myself, and we will definitely take care of that. I'm super excited about this. So this is about intentions and goal setting. I was thinking about doing it again, but then all of a sudden the thought came into my mind, and it's like some people can't afford to spend 6 or 7 hours on a Saturday. And I thought, well, how can I do that? And then I thought, what if you did like a 5-day challenge where we get together every single day and we start talking about intentions and goal setting for the year, but it's not just going to be intentions and goal setting. Of course, I'm going to be throwing metaphysical stuff in there. Of course, I'm going to be looking at, oh, well, you talked about changing your beliefs. How do you do that? We're going to cover that in this class. So I'm super excited about it. It's going to be online. It's going to be starting tomorrow from 6 until about 7:30 each day, but I think it's going to wind up being a little bit shorter than that, probably about an hour every single day. And we're going to go through the entire process of everything that I've learned about goal setting, intention setting, manifestation, the things that slow you down when it comes to your own manifestations in your own life. So I'm really, really excited about it. You can sign up in the lobby. There's a QR code. Sign up, and we'd love to have you. Lent clears the way. This is just really a reminder that Lent did start last week, and so we just wanted to throw it out there because I know that Ted was guest speaking and we didn't really talk about it, and just so you know, we are just remembering that Lent has started. And by the way, I am going to mention this in case I forget. I know some of you are going, Mike, where's the Lent books? Where's the Lent books? Where's the Lent books? So for those who don't know, Unity twice a year puts together these amazing booklets at Christmas and at Easter, and they cover the entire series of Advent or Lent, the Lent season. We ordered the books. For some reason, there was a snafu with us picking them up from the post office, so we had to reorder them. So we will have them next Sunday, so just so you know, in case you're like, where's my booklet? I want my booklet. So they're on the way, okay? We had this really powerful group with Ethan and myself coming together, and it's called Holy Hurt, and what it is about religious trauma. And after going through 4 classes, what it's come to realize, I knew this was going to be powerful. I had no idea how powerful it is. Where we get together and we honestly just witness people and let them talk about religious trauma and the impact it's had on them. A lot of people suffer from religious trauma. And to create an environment where the possibility of coming together and sharing that with each other, to heal that so they can move past it. I think one of the most precious gifts each and every one of us has is the relationship with God. For me personally, when I went through from a religious standpoint, it took that away from me for just a little while, just enough for me to be able to bounce back, and then all of a sudden I'm back into this amazing, beautiful relationship with God, which in my opinion, in your heart, most people want it so bad, but they think, oh, there's something here though. There's nothing there other than the religious trauma that's held you back. if you're suffering from that. And so this environment allows us to do that. So we're going to be doing it again. It's going to be starting this Thursday. I think, we don't know, Ethan and I are going to talk about this, but I think it's going to wind up being every other week. We're going to come together as a group, provide an environment where you can be held and you can share your story about what it means for you and what it felt like for you going through that if you experienced that. The mastermind group is going to be meeting again this Thursday. It's going to be at Willow's Place. So for those of you that are into goal setting, intention setting, but now you want some support throughout the year, that's what this group is for. It's a classic mastermind that was mentioned in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, but now we're taking it and we're changing it, tweaking it, making it more metaphysical, if you will, and it's a group of people. Right now we have 7 or 8 people that get together every other week, and we just support each other with their goals and their dreams of what they're trying to manifest in 2026. It's a really powerful group, and if that feels good to you, join us. It's not something you have to attend every single time, because we do it every other week. We do it twice a month, the second and the fourth Wednesday of the month, and we switch it and rotate it between Willow's Place and my place out in Sparta. So come and join us if you can. Spring Bottle Can Drive is Friday and Saturday, March 20 and 21st. So if you got any bottles or cans that you don't know what to do with, we'll take them. Okay? We would greatly appreciate that. We've got our healing class. So many of you know that once a month we do what's called a healing class. Don't forget that Unity is a healing ministry. That's how it started. And so every month this year what we're doing is we're doing something different, and we're inviting people in to show us the different healing techniques that they are. Mahana is a friend of mine. Her former name was Mary, and she was very, very involved with Psych K. Some of you remember Mary. But now she has created her own energy healing model, and she's going to be coming in, and she's going to be teaching us about that. And for those of you that come, she's going to pick 3 people to actually do a healing on. Having been involved with that process, I can tell you it's powerful. So if you're thinking like, man, it'd be cool to be able to have somebody work on me energetically, that would be the place to do it. And so that's what we're doing this coming up in March. So come join us for that. It's going to be the first Tuesday from 6 until 7:30. Can you help? So we're looking for somebody, and we've got somebody in the congregation that's looking for help with daycare. So this is completely different than what I was talking about early. This is a member of our congregation who needs some help and support watching and helping with their children. If that is something that is in your heart and you would feel good about helping or supporting a member in our congregation who is asking for help, come and see me, okay? All right, Debbie, where's she at? Debbie, there she is. She came last equinox and did a channeling, and she's going to be doing another one for the spring solstice on March 22nd. After the service, she's going to come in and do her magic and channel for us again. It was really, really powerful. The first time, if that's something you're interested in, well, you could go talk to Debbie. She's sitting right there after the service, okay? Dinner with Friends is going to be this Friday right down the street at the Cascade Roadhouse. So if you love community and you love connection and you love people and socializing, this is your chance to do it with the people from this congregation. Come join us at Cascade Roadhouse on February 27th. The sign up is in the lobby. So come and join us. Now, so this is new for us. This is kind of fun. So every month moving forward, what we are going to do is we are going to basically acknowledge and sing to the people in the congregation whose birthday is for whatever that month is. So it's going to be on the last Sunday of every month. We are going to basically acknowledge, sing, and celebrate. And when I talk about celebrating, I'm talking about, I don't know if you saw the kitchen, but there's about 14 cakes in the kitchen. So I hope you're really hungry. We are going to be doing that after the service. But for right now, I do believe the gentlemen are going to lead us into a round of happy birthday. Happy birthday, dear Susan, Orlando, and Trisha, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank you. That's okay. Come on up, Joan. So today we're doing our vision. Can we just say that together? A world powerfully transformed through a shared awakening that acknowledges the divinity in all of life. There we go.
Good morning.
Morning, Joan.
Okay. The daily word today, I need a little mic. The daily word today is faith. I may be called upon to tackle a mountain of a challenge every day, but if the occasion arises, then I do know that my faith, combined with my creativity, allows me to move that challenge or to move myself around it and past it. I am stepping out in faith by being a doer rather than an observer. God gives me unlimited resources of strength, creativity, wisdom, and love. I use these qualities to the fullest extent of my understanding of them. I am faith in action. I want every word I say and every action that I take to flow from my faith in God within me and from my faith in God around me. My prayer is one of thanksgiving. Thank you, God, for showing me that my faith is a stepping stone for all the way along my life in a fulfilling, productive way. From Scriptures, James 2, faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. Please join me in the affirmation, I am faith in action. My affirmation doesn't say that. Whatever. Whatever. Now, I invite you to take a few moments to breathe deeply and slowly, quieting your mind and opening your heart, ready for a fresh perspective of truth as we begin our creative work. We recognize in our minds that God is. God is the creative imagination that is needed as we work on manifesting the good in our lives. Divine imagination is ours to use. We are divine imagination. We realize that by getting the creative and using things and ideas that we have imagined, that we can manifest situations and perspectives that are needed to fulfill our dreams. We don't have to wait for others to do it. We can manifest all that is needed and bring good into our lives. We are thankful for our spiritual insight and a fresh perspective based on truth. We proceed in joyful anticipation of our completed manifestations, and we say thank you, God, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Joan. You're all allowed to work with your affirmations the way you see fit. Will you stand, please? And good morning. I'm sitting over there looking over at all these faces that I know because I'm here every week too almost. And, we're a family, right? We're a family. We're a family. Welcome, family. Gotta stand up, gotta clear your eyes, gotta walk on to the other side. Let a new sun fill your mind, bring a break to light. There's a wild world waiting on you, full of wonder, raging fire. It all laid out before you. Come alive, come alive, come alive, come alive. alive, come alive, come alive, come alive. Take a step. Take a step and let your spirit breathe. Surrender all these marks to mystery. Life in you, it begs to be set free. Take a step. Take a step and let your spirit breathe. Surrender all these marks to mystery. Life in you, it begs to be set free. There's a wild world. There's a wild world waiting on you, full of wonder, raging fire. See it all laid out before you. Come alive, come alive, come alive, come alive. The Father, I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of God. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one. And I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. Let me remember. Let me remember. Let me remember that I am one with God. Let me remember. Let me remember. Let me remember. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the Mother. And I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I'm one. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with God. I remember, yes, I remember, I remember, I am one with God. I remember, oh, I remember, yes, I remember, I am one with God. We are one. We are one with the heart of the Mother. We are one with the heart of love. We are one with the heart of the Father. We are one with God. And we remember, 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 we are one with God, and we remember, we remember, we remember, we are one with God. I remember, yes, I remember, I remember, I am one with God. One more time, I remember, I remember, yes, I remember, I am one with God.
Speaking of remembering, hey, Jim, can you do me a favor? I need those. Jim, I need you to increase the size of that font, please. Thank you. We got the booklets? How fun. The booklets have arrived. Yeah. Thank you, Joan. Thank you, guys. Thank you, team. And that's honestly, I don't know if you've noticed, but that's what it takes to do what we do here. It's kind of a team effort here. So, speaking of remembering, I need to start off our talk today and apologize to the team because this is one of those times when, like, I do my talk titles months in advance, usually a couple of months in advance. And so I planned this talk, and I don't actually start writing until the week of. And the reason I don't do that is because if I can't get up here, if it's not alive in me, I've tried to do it. I've tried to write talks in advance, and I notice when I show up the week I'm going to do them, like they fall flat to me because energetically I'm just not as connected to it. So for me, I got to write it the week of. And so I look at the talk title, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good talk title, and I start working on it, and then all of a sudden what happens is there's like this epiphany moment where I'm like, oh my God, Mike, it's Lent. And so I'm like, and you haven't even talked about Lent. I said, you got to talk about Lent. It's Lent. And so everything changed. So I wanted to apologize to the team that, yeah, I made an audible at the last minute and I changed everything. So everything that went out looked like it was the old talk title, but now we're doing a new talk title, and it's about Lent. And it's called Dying to Live the Real Work of Lent. So it's Lent, right? And last Wednesday was Ash Wednesday, which begins the season of Lent. And of course, what this means is that it's time. It's time for this preparation, moving into the celebration of Easter, right? But the truth is, it really starts on Fat Tuesday, if you think about it. And Fat Tuesday is where we do what? We pig out on these amazing jelly donuts, and we stuff ourselves because in the true Lent tradition, basically we begin this 40-day of letting go of or giving something up. That is the Lent tradition. And Ash Wednesday, this is where the people, they put the ashes on the forehead. So for those of you, I'm sure many of you know this, but for those of you that don't, when you see the ashes on the forehead, that is often a Catholic tradition where they put it on their foreheads as a symbol of repentance. And the ashes specifically, what you may not realize, is the ashes symbolizes this idea that, hey, we came from dust, representing the ashes, and we are returning to dust. That's what the symbology of the ashes is when they use that to mark the cross on their forehead when they're walking around. That's what that's about. Often during that time, you'll hear in Christian tradition this chapter from Genesis, remember that you're dust and to dust shall you return. And that's not meant to depress you, by the way. However, it is letting you know that this experience called life is temporary. In other words, this isn't going to last forever. And just remember that. And again, if anything, it's used to kind of wake you up. To kind of wake up, folks. Wake up. It's a wake-up call, right? So Lent is usually about picking something you really like, and you stop doing it for 40 days, and instead you replace that with your devotion to God. So that's what the true tradition is. And so most people think that, well, I'm going to give up coffee, alcohol, carbs. And when you sit there and go through the entire list of whatever it is that you could give up, it's like, well, just you might as well give up joy because you're not going to have any fun without all that stuff, right? Honestly, it's like, really? Come on, man. Which is fine. I mean, let's face it, discipline is good. But if the only thing that you're giving up is caffeine or alcohol or whatever it is that you decide to give up, and yet you still have chronic negative thinking every day, all day, 24/7, we need to talk about that. Because as in any of the traditions, we do things at Unity a little bit differently than the classic traditions. Not that there's anything wrong with the classic traditions, but we are going to absolutely take this concept deeper, okay? So in the book, Keep a True Lent by Charles Fillmore, I'm going to just read the beginning of it because I think it's really powerful and insightful. And Fillmore says that the Christian world is once again observing the Lenten season, a season of prayer and fasting that precedes the joyous festivity of Easter. It is commonly believed that the Lenten period has to do with the events of the 40 days preceding the resurrection. This is an erroneous idea. Lent is a church institution, and there is no authorization for it anywhere in the New Testament. The idea, however, has a sound spiritual basis. Moses, Elijah, and Jesus himself set a precedent for it. Each observed a 40-day period of prayer and fasting and a preparation for spiritual work. Moses received the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai at the conclusion of his fast. Elijah talked with God on Mount Horeb at the conclusion of his period of prayer and fasting. Jesus began his great spiritual ministry at the close of his fast in the wilderness. So maybe there's something about this 40-day thing. The ancient Hebrew writers made a practice of using numbers to symbolize ideas. 40 in their minds was a foursquare number suggesting the idea of a foundation for something to follow. In other words, we go through this thing and then something follows it. An idea of completeness. So the number 40 is frequently used in scriptures to indicate a completed preparation for something to follow. Oh, okay. When we consider Lent as a well-rounded or completed season of retreat from the things of the world for the cleansing of the mind and the recollection of the things of spirit, it becomes a true season of preparation for the glorious Easter tide, a preparation for the resurrection of the mind from the darkness of its doubts and false beliefs into the light of understanding. does that sound just a little bit different than what we have been taught traditionally about what the season of Lent is about? Just a little bit, right? And so when we think about it, what Fillmore is explaining here is that from a metaphysical or spiritual perspective, Lent goes way deeper than just giving something up physically, right? He's talking about a preparation for spiritual work. So if you really want to engage in the tradition, really engage in it, then you would understand it's a preparation for spiritual work. And what is that spiritual work? A cleansing of the mind. So in other words, it's not giving something up, chocolate, caffeine, or whatever. It can be, but if you really want to take this to heart, if you really want to do it, then you'll follow the true purpose of it, which is about the cleansing of your mind. And you think about it, isn't, in a sense, the cleansing of the mind, when we talk about that, in a sense, letting go of something or the stopping of doing something? Wouldn't it be the same thing? Yeah. And so when we talk about it, Fillmore says specifically the cleansing of the mind. Of what? Doubts and fears. Oh, well, that's getting pretty specific, Mike. Uh-huh. Yeah. Ask you a question. Anybody here have any doubts or fears? Any? Maybe? Yeah. Like what? Oh, I don't know. Chronic doubt, self-sabotage, fear, procrastination, scarcity thinking, constant negative thinking, less than thinking, separation thinking, I can't change thinking, this is too hard thinking, I'm too old thinking, I'm too young thinking, it's too late thinking. Did I miss any? Did I? I'm too broken. Thank you. I'm too broken. Anything else? I'm too broke. I'm too broke. That's great, Bobby. That's great. Awesome. Folks, we all have this type of thinking going on, and all of us have become masters at one or two of them. You own it. It has become your identity. And all Fillmore is saying is, maybe it's time to think about giving that up. Maybe you can still live your life without embodying one of these things or one of these limited beliefs or one of these doubts. And maybe change. Right? So, having said that, I want to go back for a minute to a story that I think is so powerful, and I already mentioned it, but it's a story of when Jesus goes into the desert, and he goes through these 3 different trials. And so I'm just going to read to you from the book of Matthew. This is called the temptation of Jesus. Then Jesus was led up to the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. When he had fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry afterward. And then it goes on to it switches from calling him the devil to the tempter. Isn't that interesting? So he went from being called the devil to the tempter. The tempter came to him and said, "If you are truly the Son of God, command these 3 stones to become bread." But he answered, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God." Then the devil took him into the holy city. He set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, he will put the angels in charge of you, and on their hands they will bear you up, so that you don't dash your foot against a stone." And Jesus said to him again, "It is written, you shall not test the Lord your God." Again, the devil took him to an exceedingly high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. He said to him, "I will give you all of these things if you will fall down and worship me." Then Jesus said to him, "Get behind me, Satan. For it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and you shall serve him only." And then the devil left him. And behold, angels came and served him. So, that's the traditional story. Of course, We're going to look at that a little bit differently, aren't we? Because that's what we do here. So let's talk about that for a minute. So think about this from, first of all, the setting. What is the setting? The setting is Jesus is being led into the wilderness. He was led by Spirit. Something was calling him, go do this thing. And so the first thing to realize is like Jesus was following his intuition. Something was calling him like, hey, I have some work to do. I'm going to go do that work. It was by Spirit. It was something inside of him. And what I would tell you is, like Jesus, we all have this little thing at times that's going to show up and tap us on the shoulder and say, hey, it's time. It's time. It's time. Everybody in this room right now knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's not a question of if something's tapping you on the shoulder at times. It's a matter of, are you listening to it? And are you going to honor it? And are you going to follow what it's telling you it's time for? That's the million-dollar question, right? The wilderness is not a punishment. Some people think, well, if I go out into this wilderness, if I have to go out into the desert, it's a punishment. It's not. It's actually the beginning of an initiation. So when you're getting tapped on the shoulder, hey, it's time, that is not punishment. That is not you being called to the shed to get whipped. It's not. It's an invitation. It's an initiation. It's time for you to change. That's what it's for, right? Metaphysically, the wilderness represents a state of being stripped down awareness. There's no distractions. You're walking in the middle of the desert. What is there to look at other than sand and sit there and think to yourself, my God, is it hot? There's nothing else. It's you and God are hanging out. No distractions, right? Nothing. And by doing this, this is where all of a sudden these false beliefs, this doubt, this fear, the shame, the blame, the guilt, the judgment, all this stuff surface because there's nothing left to hide. Where are you going to hide it? Where do you hide it in this picture? There's no place to hide it. Nowhere. And what that means is internally, when you actually decide to do this, what's going to happen is these false beliefs are going to bubble to the surface. Why? Because you are ready to release them. Do you get that? Do you get that when you start actually doing this work, legitimately doing this work, these things are going to start bubbling to the surface for them to be removed from your consciousness? That is why it's happening. It's not because you're going crazy. It's not because all of this garbage that we say, oh, this shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be showing up. This is wrong. This is not good. It's the most beautiful thing that could happen to you. And truth, why? Because you're ready to let it go. Oh, is that why this is showing up? Yes. This is not because you're stupid. It's not because you're ignorant. It's not because you screwed up. It's because it's time to let it go. And that's what this process gives you, is the ability to honestly let go of these limited beliefs, these doubts, these fears, all of the things that will literally set you free, right? We already talked about the 40 days of fasting and what it represents, but fasting is not about the food. It's about this withdrawing attention from the outer world. So think about that for a minute. When you go through this process, metaphysically speaking, what are you doing? You are shutting everything off. You're turning off your damn cell phones. You're shutting off the news. You're shutting off everybody screaming, hollering, all the things that are trying to get your attention. You shut them off. Why? So you can finally frickin' listen to what your soul is trying to tell you. That's what you do. You shut it off. Don't worry, I promise you, this world will keep spinning while you're away. Trust me, I know. It will. But you got to shut it off. Why? So you can listen to what your heart, your soul is asking you to let go of. But as long as you got the stuff running in the background 24/7, constantly picking up your phone, constantly looking at social media, constantly picking up a paper, constantly looking at the news, it ain't going to happen. Sorry, folks. I wish I could tell you it was different, but it's not. You got to shut it off for a minute. Give yourself some space. Let yourself breathe. Let your soul have the room to do what it naturally does. Do that, right? When you stop feeding these distractions, that's all that is. Do you understand that? That's all this stuff is distraction that keeps you away from doing your work, from doing what you're trying to do. It just distracts you. And when you stop feeding them, you'll discover what's actually running you, which often false beliefs, doubts, fears, shame, blame, guilt, judgment, all the stuff. And then in the story, all of a sudden the devil shows up. Who's the devil? Metaphysically, the devil is not this red-horned being, whoa, being in sandals. That's not who the devil is. It represents the adversarial voice of error consciousness. So in other words, it's all of the limitations, all of them, that were put in you, not by you, by somebody else, that is constantly running in the back of your mind, that until you slow down and you start to process what I'm talking about, will constantly be going on in the back of your mind. It's the ego, the false self, the part of the mind that doubts your divine identity and doesn't have a problem constantly telling you that everything that you're not. That's what the ego's job is. The tempter or the devil only shows up when you're about to step into something greater. Did you know that? That's how this really works, by the way. You all of a sudden make a decision, I'm going to change. And you start looking at these thoughts, these beliefs, everything that I've been talking about, and all of a sudden you say, I'm going to change. Guess what's going to show up? All those thoughts, all those doubts, all those beliefs. They're all going to show up because that's how it works. Why? Because growth triggers resistance. I'm going to say that again. Growth triggers resistance. Why? Your ego is very, very, very comfortable with where it's at and where you're at. Your ego does not want you to change anything. And the minute you make a decision and tell yourself, I'm going to start changing consciously, trust me when I tell you, your ego is going to show up and tell you all the reasons why you can't. I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too young, I'm too tall, I'm too whatever. I'm too stupid, I'm not smart enough. I'm all the things that's going to come up and convince you why you can't change. I'm not very good at changing. I suck. I'm just lazy. All these things are going to start showing up, and it's going to just sit there and hammer on you and try to tell you exactly why you can't change. Why? Because the ego wants you to stay stuck. The ego doesn't want you to move. So what's going to happen is when you decide to do this, guess who's showing up? The tempter. And the tempter is going to try to convince you that you can't. That you can't, right? And why is that? Doesn't want you to change. It doesn't want you to change. And then what happens is the first temptation shows up, right? Turn these stones into bread. And then all of a sudden, every single one of these starts off with, well, if you are the Son of God, and I want you to pay attention to it because this is critical. The ego in every single one of these temptations is going to start off with, and if you are God. And do you understand that is exactly the ego's way to keep you stuck? Because the ego is trying to convince you you are anything but divine, and it's going to go, well, if you're God, you should be able to walk on water. If you're God, you should be able to heal yourself. If you're God, you should be a multimillionaire. And if you're God, you wouldn't have any problems. And everything that follows after, if you are the Son of God, then is absolute garbage. You know why? Because you already are it. Do you get that? You already are the son or the daughter of God. Nothing can take that away from you. Nothing can take that away from you except your own thoughts and your own beliefs that tell you that you aren't. That's the only thing that can take it away from you. That's it. And that's why this is such a trick. This is why the ego is so powerful. Right? So it starts off and says this. It questions Jesus' identity. This temptation represents the urge to use spiritual power for personal comfort and immediate gratification. That's not why we're doing this. That's not why we're doing this, right? Metaphysically, the stones represent hardened conditions. So in other words, you're looking at something and there's something in your life that you just don't think you can do anything about. And the bread is physical security, and the temptation says, provide your worth by fixing your outer circumstances. So what do we have a tendency to do? Instead of starting where first, instead of standing here first, we start doing what? Let's change all of this. And this is saying, don't do that. Unity is saying, don't do that. Unity always believes it starts here first. Change this first. The rest will follow. The rest will follow, right? Jesus responds, man shall not live by bread alone, meaning I am not sustained by material appearances. I don't care. That's what really that metaphysically meant when Jesus said that. Because Jesus was saying what? I don't live according to everything that's going on out there. I live from a spiritual consciousness. That's where I'm living from. That's where I'm coming from. And this is the temptation to solve everything externally instead of addressing the consciousness that created whatever the event or whatever it is that you got going on in your life. Ah, okay. Then Jesus says what? Throw yourself down. Now the temptation shifts, right? If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down. This is a temptation to perform, to prove your spirituality. In order for me to really be all that in a bag of chips, I need to do this. No, you don't. You don't have to do anything. The truth is, the only thing you need to do is accept who and what you are, which is a beautiful child of God. That's it. There is no, well, if I really had it figured out, then it would look like this, 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 and this, and I would be able to do this, 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 and this. Do you understand the setup in that? Why it's so tricky and why it's so conniving? Because it tries to convince you that unless you can do whatever it is that you're telling yourself, well, if I really had this figured out, then I would be able to do this. And then all of a sudden you can't do this, then the ego all of a sudden looks and goes, see? You're not that. You're not it. It won. It won, right? Metaphysically, it represents a spiritual ego. Show them who you are. Make a spectacle. Force God to rescue you. And Jesus says, You shall not tempt the Lord your God. Translation, spiritual maturity does not require theatrical proof. I don't care what happens out there. That's not important to me. I care a lot about what's going on inside of me, right? So, you don't test truth, you embody it. That's the difference. And the third and final temptation is all the kingdoms of the world. This one is all about power. All this I will give to you if you fall down and worship me. Metaphysically, worshiping is the adversary. It's aligning with fear, it's aligning with ego, it's aligning with doubt, it's aligning with shame, it's aligning with all the stuff like that. And the temptation here is to compromise that principle for power. And that's not what this is about. It's not about power, it's just an acknowledgement of who you really are, right? So, Jesus says, you shall worship the Lord your God, and only God shall serve you, meaning I will not trade my spiritual integrity for worldly gain. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, right? If you think about this from a bigger picture, from the metaphysical part, the entire story is about your identity, who you are. Each temptation begins with if you are, if you are, if you are. The ego always questions who you are right before the expansion. How dare you? How dare you? The wilderness reveals where you seek comfort over consciousness. That's what the ego, that's what this, the wilderness represents. This is where you crave validation. This is where you compromise for power. And each time Jesus answers with the same thing, with truth, with awareness. Like, no, we're not going to do that. And this is the metaphysical practice, and if you think about it, it's just three simple things that he does. First of all, he denies the error thinking. Second of all, he affirms the truth. And the third thing he does is he stands firm. It's that easy? Can be. Unless you want to complicate it some more. You can. But you don't have to. You don't. Oh, okay. And then what happens in the end? Remember? What happens at the end? Then the devil left him. What's the devil? The erroneous beliefs. So then eventually, once Jesus stood up to him and said, get out of here, knock it off, I'm not buying the story you're trying to sell me, then guess what happens? The devil leaves. The thoughts, the old beliefs, the old doubts, the old fears, all go silent. They go away. And what I'm going to tell you, and I mean this honestly with all my heart, for anybody who's really going to engage in this, I'm going to tell you this. That is exactly what will happen. First of all, the devil's going to show up and go, want. You can't change, you can't change, you can't change. You just got to stand up to it, look it right in the eyes and say, yes, I can, watch me. And eventually, those thoughts will start to dissipate and they'll start to go away. Why? Because you stood in your power and said, knock it off. That's how it works. That's how it works metaphysically, but even more importantly, I can sit there and pull out endless psychological tests that will prove what I'm talking about, because this is all neuroscience, folks. That's what this is. It's neuroscience. How do you change a belief? This is how you do it, right? So Lent isn't about just kind of pulling us all back together. And due to the time, we're not going to be able to do a meditation today. Oh, I know. Just to kind of wrap things up, Lent isn't necessarily about giving up chocolate. I mean, it can be. I mean, if that's what you really want it to be. This is where you're trying to turn stones into bread. This is where you're trying to prove yourself, where you're tempted to compromise your values. But the wilderness is a space where your identity, where you really land in your identity. And when you leave it, you leave empowered. So in other words, you go through this process, you go through the space where you wind up being empowered, not because the temptation disappeared. It's really and honestly because you finally, for once and for all, you remembered who you are. And so that's the great journey, my friends. That is really, in a nutshell, this is what the Lenten season is about. Is about you finally looking at your life and you finally going, enough is enough. And you finally looking at some stuff that you want to work on and you actually bring it into consciousness, you bring it into light. In other words, you expose it, you let it come out so you can see it and so you can release it and let it go. That's the true process of Lent. That is what the story is. That is what we're going to be doing through the next few weeks. 40 days, actually. So, my invitation to you is if there's something that you would like to work on. Anybody got anything they want to work on from a consciousness standpoint? One or two of you, thank God. For you too, my invitation is to spend time with this. And if you have any questions or thoughts, come see me. But it's not difficult to do. So if anybody's sitting here and going, this is confusing, I don't understand, let me just tell you that's your ego telling you don't change. That's what it's doing. For anybody that's sitting there, for anybody's brain that's sitting there saying it sounds like too much work, I don't want to do that, that's just your ego. This is truly an amazing and magical time of the year to be able to do this. And so, yes, give up the chocolate, the caffeine, the alcohol, if that's what you want to give up. But I have a better idea. Why don't you give up some consciousness that no longer serves you and step into being a different person at a different level in a different way and showing up differently? I've already got my list. And now I'm inviting you to make your own. And if you have any thoughts on that, come and see me. Thank you again for being who you are. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for shining the way that you shine. Thank you for your light. And I know there's some people in here that go, he is not talking about me. Yeah, I am. You know why? Because I haven't forgotten who you are. That's why. You are a beautiful reflection of the divine. You are amazing. You are powerful. You are strong. You have got an unbelievable amount of light inside of you that's begging to come out. And so I just want to remind you of that, how incredibly beautiful you are, how lucky we are, how grateful we are to have you here. So thank you for joining us this morning. I hope there's a little tidbit in here that you can walk away with that might be able to help. And if it is, awesome. And if not, don't worry, because my belief is it'll show up, whether it's in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. All of a sudden, you're going to go, oh my God, there it is. He was right, because of who and what you are. So thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. You're amazing. Just amazing. God bless you. Namaste and Namaway. Thank you. At this time, we're going to do our love offering together, and together we say, Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thanks, John. And so we just take a minute. Thank you, Bill and Karen, for bringing those forward. And we just say, thank you, God. Thank you for these gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We receive them. We bring them into our home. We let them come in, touch our lives. And then ultimately, we let them go and let them go out into our community, both near and far, to bless all the people. And we just say, thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you for these gifts. Amen. And as we stand together, we say the prayer of protection. And together we say, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now if we can form a circle and sing the peace song.